DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. We are here. Game one's over. It's 11:50 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking at, I got the score from tonight's game one of the NBA Finals. I know as I get into this, pardon the sound. The sound may be a little bit off because I'm working with some new equipment right now. Hopefully it's giving me a better shot. So this should visually look better than my videos have looked up to this point. Y'all let me know, even though I'm shooting at nighttime without super amount of light. But the picture should look better, but the audio, I don't have a mic connected to this device yet. So hopefully the audio is good enough y'all can hear me, but just bear with me till I get this in the order that I want to get it in. But tonight we're talking about game one of NBA Finals. Golden State Warriors 113, Cleveland Cavaliers 91. Warriors win by 22. The last quarter was kind of, I don't even know the word. It was not much to watch in the last quarter of the game. So let's go right into what happened in this game. First, let's talk about the people who won, and then we'll talk about the losers, because if the losers don't step their game up, then they might lose again. So let's talk about the winning team from tonight's game one. First of all, Kevin Durant. Obviously, he seemed to be the story of the night. Him playing in the finals again, getting back to the finals after losing to LeBron in 2012, where he also won game one that year as well. But did great today. 38 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 14 for 26 from the floor, 7 for 8 from the free throw, 3 for 6 from 3. These are the kind of stats he was putting up for my fantasy team this year before Jaja Pachulia fell into his knee. But anyway, great game by KD. I mean, he didn't have to do too much. He didn't have to do too much one-on-one. I don't even remember him having to shake nobody like that. All he had to do was take the ball and drive to the lane, go coast to coast, knock down open threes, and that's pretty much all he had to do. And that's all he's done all season, being on his team. I guess that's the reason why he went to the Warriors, so he could do this and be on a team that's winning, and this is exactly what happened tonight. So great game by KD. Stephen Curry shot 11 for 22, 6 for 11 from 3, which is excellent, shooting 3-pointers. He had 28 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. Great game by Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson's been cold. 3 for 16 from the floor. Draymond was 3 for 12 from the floor. So neither of them making many shots. But Klay Thompson was playing great defense on Kevin Love. We're going to talk about Kevin Love in a moment. Draymond Green with that all-around game. Like I talked about, like we all know about, 9 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He usually has more assists than that. 2 steals and a block, even though he wasn't making any shots. Only 1 for 5 on threes, but Draymond Green still all over the floor. 10 defensive rebounds. Led the team in defensive rebounding. He's had 2 turnovers. Golden State had 2 turnovers the whole game as a team. If you go through an NBA game and your team only has 2 turnovers, unless you got a serious lack of talent, you're probably going to win that game. 2 turnovers. They only had 4 turnovers total. Steph had 2 and Draymond had 2. That's a ridiculous statistic. There are only 2 turnovers total between 2 separate guys in the starting lineup. Zaza even had 6 rebounds and 8 points and 2 steals against the Cavs. The rest of the Warriors bench, nobody did much of consequence that we even really need to talk about. Let's get over to the Cleveland Cavaliers side, because that's where some things happen that have to be discussed. I know, some of y'all was talking about, y'all was nervous because I had the iPad on the railing here. What y'all can't see is that this railing is angled. Like on this side, the side that may fall over very far down where you probably don't want anything to be falling, that side is flat. But this side here is actually sloped just a little bit towards me. So if I put the iPad here, see how you can still see the top of the iPad. Actually, if I leave it like this, because of this part that's weighted, it would actually start sliding and fall. So I put this part on this side like that. Now it bounces and won't fall. So all y'all who was worried that it might fall, if I hit it by accident, then yes, it will fall. But this iPad costs a good amount of money. I'm not going to let that happen. So all of you who were concerned about the iPad falling over the railing, I appreciate your concern. If it does fall, I'll just buy another one. It's all good. But anyway, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. LeBron James, 28 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. Kevin Love, 15 points, 21 rebounds. Kyrie Irving, 24 points. Now, if we just look at those numbers, it seems like they all had a great game. But that could not be further from the truth. The Cleveland Cavaliers' big 3 did not have a good game, and we need to talk about the rest of the team too. Let's just talk about the starting lineup, because those are the guys who need to be taken to task, and a couple guys off the bench. First of all, Kyle Korver. I said he's going to have to knock down some threes. A couple threes in a quarter of a game can make a big difference for them, especially coming from a guy like him. He was 0 for 3 from 3. He didn't do anything else of consequence on his time on the floor. Those were the only shots he took with 3-pointers. Looking at the starters, Kyrie Irving had 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 for 22 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. He shot pretty well. He had pretty good stats He even grabbed 3 offensive rebounds. I don't even know how he did that. He had 4 turnovers. Was Kyrie Irving, the thing with Kyrie, as I talked about in the keys of this series, is he has to do something to win the matchup. Not equal the matchup, but win the matchup against Steph Curry. I would say Steph Curry won the matchup tonight. What do you say? Even though the point differential wasn't that much. I mean, Steph had 28, Kyrie had 24, and they shot about the same percentages. But Steph Curry also pulled 6 rebounds and had 10 assists, while Kyrie had only 3 rebounds and 2 assists. And overall, I think Stephen Curry won the point guard battle, if you want to call it that, the battle between the 2 lead guards. Steph won tonight. Kyrie has to outplay Steph Curry in order for the Cavaliers to win this series. He has to outplay Steph to win a game in this series. And he didn't do it tonight, even though he had a respectable, pretty good, this is an all-star level stat line. If he does this every game, he'll probably make all-star, but he has to do more than this. And he got to do something on defense. He has to have an impact on the game defensively. And I just didn't see Kyrie Irving have an impact on the game defensively tonight. And I can actually see myself on the camera through this phone. That's why I just pulled that, put it there so I can see it, just to make sure everything's working the way that it's supposed to. And it is. J.R. Smith did absolutely nothing. I don't know what happened to J.R. Smith. I said I like the fact that he's kind of calmed his game down and gotten more mature. He don't do a lot of crazy stuff on the court anymore, but that doesn't mean I want him to do nothing on the floor. He did absolutely nothing tonight. 3 points he made. He made the first shot of the game, a 3-pointer, first basket anybody made. He did absolutely nothing else. J.R. Smith had 0 rebounds. He played 28 minutes, first of all, so it's not like he's some dude that played scrap minutes off the bench. 28 minutes of gameplay for J.R. Smith. That's more than half of the game. He made the first shot. Remember that first shot? LeBron hit him with a pass in the corner. He knocked down a 3. The other 28 minutes and X seconds he played, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 free throw attempts, and 2 turnovers, and 1 foul. J.R. Smith, what the hell were you doing out there? J.R. Smith's like a ghost. J.R. Smith is actually a ghost. If any of y'all believe in ghosts, J.R. Smith is a ghost. And if you don't believe in ghosts, you believe in them now if you watch Game 1, because J.R. Smith played 28 minutes. He made 1 shot. He had no rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks. He had no effect on the game whatsoever. Did he even have a foul? JR, did you even foul anybody? He had 1 foul and 2 turnovers. J.R. Smith, where were you? He has to be a factor. At least be a factor. Now, Klay Thompson is not making shots. Now, can we say that's because J.R. Smith is playing just great defense, or is it because Klay is just missing shots? I didn't see J.R. playing any fantastic D. I just seen Klay Thompson missing shots that he could make. And I didn't see J.R. Smith. I didn't even know he was playing until I saw this stat right here. 3 points and zeros all across the board the rest of the line. Iman Shumpert, who's kind of like J.R.'s twin, I would say, in that similar position and role, he had 5 points and 5 rebounds in 16 minutes. So at least he took a couple more shots. He did grab 5 boards. He didn't do anything other than that. And I talked about this in the keys to the series. Between Klay Thompson and whoever the Cavs put at that second guard spot, the Cavs got to make it somewhat of a wash between those two. Now, you could say because Klay is missing so many shots that maybe it was a wash tonight, but I would say no, because Klay Thompson actually played some really good defense on Kyrie a few times. And on the next guy we need to talk about, or the guy we're going to talk about after this guy, let's talk about Tristan Thompson. Now, I talked about Tristan being that energy guy, the guy who brings it every single night, and what he does on the offensive glass being worth $85 million, and it is. However, he didn't make any of that money tonight because he didn't score any points, which is not a big deal, really. He only shot 3 shots. He missed all 3. He only had 4 rebounds. That's a big deal. He had 2 assists. I don't know how. He had 2 assists. 3 of his rebounds were offensive. He had 1 turnover, 2 fouls. Tristan Thompson just didn't have enough of an effect on this game. For the Cavs to win, listen, Kyle Korver got to make some shots. Iman/JR, those 2 guys together got to do something. They got to bring something to the table. Kyrie must outplay Stephen Curry. Even if it's just an offensive battle between the 2 of them, okay, just be who you are, Kyrie Irving. Score some damn points. You got to score more than Steph Curry scores. So whatever he gets, you got to get more. He didn't do that tonight. So that's 3 today lost. And Tristan Thompson got to have an effect. He got to be like that backbreaker. So when you got a guy on the other team who keeps getting an offensive rebound and giving your opponent another shot, especially a good team like the Cavs, that breaks your back, that breaks your will as a team trying to beat them. But guess what? Tristan didn't do any of that tonight. The Warriors pretty much kept him off the offensive glass. He had at least one offensive foul trying to do that, but the Warriors, they knew it just as well as I knew it, and all of y'all knew it. They were ready for Tristan Thompson at least tonight, and he didn't have much of an effect tonight. Now, Kevin Love, you look at the stats, you would say, damn, Kevin Love came to play. 15 points, 21 rebounds, 1 assist. He even had 3 blocks. I didn't see those 3 blocks, but he had 3 blocks. 4 for 13, made all of his free throws. 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. 5 offensive rebounds, 16 defensive rebounds, only 1 turnover, 4 fouls. You would say Kevin Love was balling. I would say he wasn't balling that much. I would say there's a couple of times Klay Thompson was guarding him in the post, and Kevin Love cannot take advantage of Klay and just get a shot, a good shot, like not even a good shot, but like a shot that you would say, damn, Kevin Love made that look easy, which what you expect from a guy who was, if we're talking positions, is pretty much power forward, where Klay Thompson is like a shooting guard for the most part. You would think he could get at least an easy look, even if he missed it, an easy look on Klay Thompson. He couldn't get it. He couldn't get easy looks on Klay Thompson. There's a couple of times Klay got called for a foul when Kevin was trying to get down in that post position. I think if you got a guy on you that size, unless he fouls you egregiously, you want to get the foul and you want to get the bucket. Kevin Love, I think, could have did more offensively. He was 4 for 13 from the field, so I think he agrees. He could have did more from the field offensively. And even rebounding-wise, even though he had 21 rebounds, I feel like he could have grabbed more. I feel like he could have had about 25 to 27 rebounds, a few rebounds that he didn't grab that the Warriors grabbed offensively. And by the way, let me pull up the Warriors' offensive rebounding, because I felt like they grabbed way too many of those. Golden State had 14 offensive rebounds, ladies and gentlemen, 14 offensive boards, where the Cavs had 15 offensive boards, but Golden State won the game, which means pretty much Golden State was converting their offensive rebounds into points, where the Cavs, for whatever reason, weren't converting theirs into points. The Cavs from 3, the Warriors shot 12 for 33 from downtown, 11 for 16 from the line, and 42% from the floor, where the Cavs were only 35% from the floor. Made a majority of their free throws, and they made 11 threes. I don't know. It just seems like Golden State were getting more baskets when it mattered than the Cavs was. I'm not going to try to break down these stats analytically, because that's not what we're here. That's not what we're here for. We're here for an objective/subjective look at what happened in this game. I feel like Kevin Love could have did more. I feel like Kevin Love tonight should have been 25 and 25. And I said in my series preview that between Tristan, LeBron, and Kevin Love, what I said, 25 to 30 boards a night. They got 36 rebounds, 40 rebounds between those 3 guys tonight. So they did good in that area. The problem was, number 1, Tristan Thompson didn't contribute hardly anything to it. It was all Kevin Love and LeBron. Number 2, Kevin Love has to be dominant offensively, like dominant offensively, not good. He was good tonight. He needs to be dominant. He had 15 points, made his free throws, and made some threes, but he has to get 20 points. You got to get 20 points. You getting Klay Thompson guarding you on the switch. Even Draymond or KD guarding you on the switch. Kevin Love, you got to score, or at least get a good look that maybe Tristan or LeBron could turn into an offensive rebound or a putback or something. He wasn't doing that tonight. I feel like he needs to do that. And there was a few rebounds that he didn't get that he should have got. Now, you may say, well, yeah, 21 rebounds. Maybe somebody else should grab a rebound, Dre. Why you always got to be Kevin Love? Look, this NBA Finals, people. If you ain't going to do it now, when you going to do it? Kevin Love should have did more tonight, in my opinion. LeBron James, 28 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, 8 for 12 from the free throw line. Seems like he's not too good on free throws, but I mean, 8 for 12 is not bad, is it? 8 for 12 seems pretty good to me. And 2 for 6 from downtown. He had 15 rebounds, 12 of them defensive. He had 8 turnovers. Now, LeBron was trying to create a lot. As many times LeBron went into the paint or he was in transition dribbling, and the Warriors, knowing LeBron to be LeBron, they were sprinting back to get to where LeBron goes, which is toward the rim, poking at that ball. Got a couple times he just got the ball stolen from him because he was in traffic and taking way too many bounces. Where I remember LeBron in the younger days, and it's strange to say that, LeBron in the younger days, sometimes he would just pick that ball up way ahead, take 2, 2.5, 3 steps, get to the basket, and make a play in the air. Whereas he seems to be kind of conserving his energy a little bit. In the second half, it seemed like he didn't want to try to do too much high wire act in the second half. I felt like, to me, he was starting to think, I better save myself for the rest of the series, because nothing I do here is going to win us this one. At least that's the way I saw it. Maybe it was just something I chose to see. Now, LeBron James, 9 for 20 from the floor, which is respectable, 45%. Made, 2/3 of his free throws. Made a couple threes. I mean, in 40 minutes of play. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at these 3 guys' stats, the Cavs' big 3, you would say each one of these guys, you just looked at the stat line, you would say, damn, he had another good game if this was just a random game during the season. But there's a couple things here. Number 1, all 3 of these guys need to galvanize the rest of their teammates to have better games than they had, because nobody on the Cleveland Cavaliers roster had any effect on tonight's game other than the big 3. The problem is what the big 3 did wasn't enough to get all the rest of those guys going. Like LeBron and Kyrie Irving what they do gets Tristan Thompson going. Them making shots puts Tristan in a position to go sneak in and get those offensive boards and keep possessions alive, because the defense may start to think, you know what, that shot's going to be going in. Or LeBron and Kyrie are creating open looks by penetrating into the defense and then passing out and finding those guys. Another thing with LeBron's turnovers is that one thing LeBron's gotten really good at is driving into the paint, drawing some attention, and then he finds those shooters in the corners. He always finds those guys in the corners. He has these great kick-out passes to go to the corner that I, as an observer, I don't even see those passes coming. I'm just like, damn, that's a hell of a pass. Even when they miss, I'm like, that's a hell of a pass he made. Golden State game plan for that. They know about it, because a couple times LeBron did that. He drove in and he threw that pass that he's known to throw. It's the thing, he's known to throw it. Golden State had defenders waiting for that pass to come, and they stole it before it got to that defender. So they know what to look out for with LeBron. Now, this does not mean, actually I'll get to that in a second, but that's how LeBron got his turnovers. Trying to drive through too many people and not, like all out LeBron James in it. Let's just say LeBron James in it. He's the first guy I've seen do it. Just take it and just go coast to coast and just steamroll, freight train through people and just go over and around people, take the contact and still finish. He seemed to not want to put himself too much at risk at certain points in the game tonight, and Golden State played good D at it. I'm not saying he wasn't playing hard. And the second reason he got so many turnovers is Golden State is starting to anticipate those kick-out passes that he throws when he drives to the basket, gets in the air, and improvises. They were ready for his improvisation, this kind of planned improvisation, so they game planned against it. So that's how his turnovers happen. And he's creating turnovers, and that means J.R., Shumpert, Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, Richard Jefferson, none of them are going to get good looks because he's the one who's creating them. Kyrie can create them, but it's really LeBron's presence that sucks everybody in and creates those looks, and LeBron's size and passing ability to fire those passes at the right time and get those passes to those shooters, especially against a good defensive team like any team in the playoffs is, especially the Warriors. A split second late on that pass can be the difference between a clean look and a contested look. So LeBron's ability to get that pass there at the right time, zip that pass to the right guy in the right way so he can get that shot off, is the key to all the other guys getting their shots besides the big three. And if LeBron can't create those shots for those guys, then there's going to be more games like this where it's three guys scoring in double figures, nobody else doing anything because he's the one that has to get them going. And Kyrie has to outplay Steph Curry to at least mentally, I believe, galvanize the rest of the guys, even a guy like Kevin Love and all the rest of the roster beside even LeBron James, to play more loose offensively because at least they know there's one guy who can bail them out and make shots if nobody else is scoring. Nobody on the Cavs is really bailing the Cavs out and just knocking down crazy shots, even though LeBron and Kyrie had respectable offensive performances. Now, what was the other thing I was about to say? Looking at this, after this game, what has to happen in Game 2? What has to happen in Game 2? First of all, Tristan Thompson has to be a factor because his stuff is not based on scoring. He must be a factor. Second thing is that the Cavs got to get Zaza Pachulia out of the game, period. They got to get him out. They had to put him in situations where he is hurting the Warriors, where the Warriors take him out and put in a guy like JaVale or go small, where I think the Cavaliers have actually more of an advantage if they start exploiting the Warriors matchups, not necessarily because anybody who would come in for Zaza is worse than him, but because now the Cavaliers are controlling the situation. They're forcing the Warriors to make a move instead of the Warriors forcing the Cavs to make a move. And tonight, the Warriors were forcing the Cavs to make a move, but the Cavs didn't make a move, and they just lost. They just got blown out by 22 points in Game 1. Now, what I'm saying, all this stuff that the Warriors did tonight, intercepting those LeBron passes, LeBron not being able to just get in the paint and suck in the defense and make those kick-out passes because the Warriors are ready for it, Tristan not being able to be a wreck on the offensive glass, Kyrie not being able to kill offensively, JR and Shump not doing anything, nobody off the bench, Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, Richard Jefferson had 9 points, but I don't remember any of them. None of them doing anything to really seriously affect the game. None of this means that all of those things can't flip and be exactly the opposite in Game 2, 3, 4, or however long this series is going to go. All of this stuff can change next game because this is what's going to happen. LeBron James has been here 7 times in a row. He's lost Game 1. I think I was reading the stat. Now, LeBron James lost Game 1 in 5 straight finals. So against OKC, the Heat lost Game 1. They lost Game 1 against the Spurs 2 years in a row. They lost Game 1 against Golden State in 2015, Game 1 last year, and now they lost Game 1 again. So 6 years in a row, LeBron has lost Game 1 in the finals. Now, not counting this year since it's not over, but the last 5 times he lost Game 1, 3 of those times he won. Beat OKC, beat the Spurs, and last year beat Golden State. So 3 out of 5 times LeBron lost Game 1 and ended up winning the series. So this, by no means, and because we all know what happened last year, this series ain't over. It's just one game, and we all eagerly anticipate Sunday's game 2. What needs to happen again? LeBron has to suck in defense and make those passes and or score points when he drives to the basket. One or the other. He got to do one or the other. Kevin Love has to create offensively when, I don't care who's guarding. The Warriors don't have anybody who can guard Kevin Love one-on-one, in my opinion. KD can, Draymond, Klay Thompson. He should be scoring on those guys. I'm not saying that they have no chance, but Kevin Love should be getting good shots against any of those guys defensively. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying Kevin Love is good. He got to get shots against those guys, and he needs to grab 15 rebounds every game this series that he plays. Kyrie Irving has to outplay Stephen Curry. I think Kyrie got to get 25 and up points-wise, ideally 30 and up, and somebody, whether that's the two guards, Shump, Iman, Darren Williams, Kyrie, some combination, got to slow down Steph Curry. You can't have KD making all these shots and Steph Curry making all these shots at the same time. That's a losing formula for the Cleveland Cavaliers. My prediction for what's going to happen in Game 2 is I'm not going to predict that the Cavs can win Game 2, but I think the Cavs need to win mentally. I think it will really help the Cavs a whole lot. It'll help the Cavs a hell of a lot to win Game 2. It'll help the Warriors a lot to win Game 2 as well. This is the NBA Finals. I think every game it matters who wins. But the Cavs don't want to go into 2-0 hole to a team that's already motivated to beat them, already got the momentum on their side, already got an advantage. Now, they had an advantage last year, I think, overall in terms of their roster as far as the guys who play in the rotation. Now you replace Harrison Barnes with Kevin Durant. I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage. I think that the Cavs are going to make some adjustments for Game 2, but we're not sure if those adjustments will be the adjustments. I know by Game 3 the Cavs will have made the right adjustments that will help them compete in this series even better, but whatever adjustments they made between Game 1 and Game 2, we'll see if those are the right ones. They will be something, but it may not even be the right adjustments, because whatever they adjust, the Warriors may still either have too much firepower for it, or they're going to have an adjustment that outdoes whatever the Cavs do anyway. So that's the chess match that's being played. That's what I think is going to happen in Game 2. I'm not going to predict who's going to win each game. My prediction is Cavs in 6, and we know, y'all know how many games you got to win the series. We know what happened last year. We ain't got to keep talking about that. So that's what I got to say about Game 1. Any of y'all got some insight on Game 1? What happened? Did you see anything that I didn't see? You agree with anything that I said? Disagree with anything that I didn't say? Did I say something that you didn't even consider? Let me know down there in the comments. Y'all know how it goes. And Game 2, Sunday night, when that game's over, I'll be doing a review that'll be up on Monday. And that's that. Everybody have a great, what's the day? Friday. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Vlogs on the way.